Hello and welcome back to another video, guys. In this video I will be showing you what these fault codes are. There was a few more, but I will obviously well, there they are, as you can see. They were also coming up before. I've done a full scan and clear, which obviously never solves anything, but it's just a kind of test and trial and error. So this says heavily clogged up. Now if I turn the vehicle on and if I read the code, it'll probably go from intermittent, well, it says intermittent. I don't really believe that it'll go permanent at some point, but it's fine. Even if it stays like this, that means it's solvable. But if it was permanent, that means it's non-solvable, and that means that something somewhere is not really right. Okay, so there are a few ways around this. First of all, I'll show you where this sensor is so you're not stuck with it. So let me put this machine here. And the sensor for this, obviously take the engine cover off, and it's this sensor here. Okay, this is the back pressure sensor. Now, will this go faulty? It's very rare. BMs are very solid. The VAG cars will do. It's very common in them, but in the BM it's not. And it's that sensor there, and it's just a case of just unplugging it like that, pulls back, push it down, and it comes off. And it's two clips more or less here, if I'm not wrong. Not mistaken, or they just pull out really, and you can put some sort of I forgot what you call it now, just something to kind of wrap it around, tighten so it doesn't come off. And here as well, as you can see, that's where it goes into, but all you need to do is take that off. However, my point here is, so first thing first would be to do a DPF regen. Now in some cases you can't even do the DPF regen, you won't allow you to. So if you're going to use the AUTEL, which I usually do, what I highly recommend you do first before you do anything, sometimes it won't work, it'll stay as permanent, before you're permanent, just so you know. So come out of this, okay, and then go into service, and then from here go into powertrain, go into this one, and then these are all the bits and components on the engine. Now what I did first is, if I remember rightly, it was here somewhere. Where is it? I know. So I did that one. There it is. So I clicked on that. Okay. And this resets the soot content. It allows you to do the regen. Sometimes it won't allow you to do the regen. So, in other words, you're kind of in trouble. So I do that. Once that's done, I then request a regen. You can either click on it that way, or you can go into hot functions, and then from here, there you are. These are particular filter replacement, which is fine anyway. We're not going to do that, but we'll do a regen. Now, like I said, there's a few cheap, easy ways. Do the regen, then reset the soot content, which it automatically does after the regeneration. And BM, you can't do a standstill regen, as far as I know. Don't ask me why, but it doesn't. It's only a drive, 40 miles an hour plus. Let's say you were doing a motorway. I highly recommend motorways are good, to be fair. Put it into gear 4, do your normal 70 miles an hour. The rev should be about 2.5, 3, and just keep going for about 20, 30 minutes, and keep an eye on the temperature. Obviously, there's no temperature, but if it does come up and say, it's overheating, whatever, literally pull over where it's safe and best for you, because it's not good for the engine. But that's the way to clear it. Now, another easy way, which I'm going to do myself, is literally, now a lot of people ask, in the past I have done, and someone will say, no, don't do this, it'll damage the sensor. Yes, you're right, in that sense I agree, but what you can do is take off them two sensors here. Okay, I'm going to take this first one off and that other one, and you can use bleach. So basically pour bleach down it, but obviously make sure it doesn't come back up this way. I'd have the engine more or less running so the pressure of the air goes that way, and pour bleach in, and believe you and me, it will clear its throat out. And you can even use the G1s, the car washes they use. It's like even acid. You can go and ask them, they'll probably give it you, and pour it in, and then just let the engine run anyway. Just be careful, it is very hot. You can do this and then do the regen, or you can do a regen, forget about this. If you can't be arsed fiddling with this, don't do it. Well, just do the regen and call it. And if that doesn't fix it, know this one after. It looks like it must be a faulty sensor. Now you can go and change your sensors. They're about 100 quid, 70 quid, depending where you get it, and depends which sensor it is, because there's a few. That's that. option. So there's 1 and 2, okay, out of the way. And then the next one would be what we call a remap. And this one is entirely up to you. I really recommend you do everything standard, but if you can't get to the bottom of it, you could just do a remap. What they'll have to do is take off the DPF, drill through it, which is not legal at all, so you got to be careful in that sense. But you can drill through that, remap it, and all the fault codes will disappear. It may be in the background, but you will not get any engine management light. You won't get any faults, but that's the way to do it. But I highly recommend doing the regen, which I'll show you. From here, I'm going to go into diesel particulate regeneration, and then we'll hit the motorway straight after. So okay, sometimes it'll just eliminate it. Okay, tank must be, yeah, that's fine, it's got plenty in that sort of sense. Okay, continue. Time required 45 minutes. Okay, that's fair enough, so we'll do that. So request, so now it's requested on here. Obviously on some of the VAG cars like VW, Audi, and Skoda, it'll show up on there with a DPF light, but however this doesn't. So this just says kind of get cracking in other ways. We'll just repeat. That's because I've got the engine more or less running, that's why. Continue. Okay, so because the engine was running before, so now that's what it's telling me to do. So we're going to get cracking and do that. As you can see, guys, it's telling me that I need to do a good 30 minutes regen because it's detected that it's heavily blocked, in other words. So we will hit continue, and what does that say? Right, guys, so as you can see, the DPF regen has been activated from the AUTEL Diagnostic machine. And then what you need to do on the cluster, from here what you can see, this is more or less where you need to be. It's a good 20-30 minutes drive, and hopefully just keep it like that, and then we'll then reset the soot content. Reset the soot content and everything's fine, everything's good. We've done the regen, everything's spot on in this case. All we will do in this case is obviously reset everything. There we go, and there's no faults really other than the battery. Well, everything's spot on in this case. So yeah, I mean, regen usually helps. Obviously, if it doesn't, then clean it. If not, then a remap at the end.